Welcome to the Job Fair, where we give job seekers and employers the space to tell their own stories and bring our listeners along for the ride. We're your hosts, Doug and Shauna. Let's dive into it. Hey, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of the Job Fair.
And I hope you're doing well today. We have some new stuff today, and I'm really excited to chat about it with you.
Awesome. I'm excited as well. Our topic for discussion today is good old remote work. Breaking down some viewpoints we read in the news, as well as our own thoughts and perspectives, of course.
But Doug, let's not forget what's always first. Agree to disagree. Let's do it. I will kick us off today. So the first one, fun, pop culture-y, but Beyoncé entering the country music scene is awesome.
Disagree.
No.
Not for me. Look, Beyoncé is by far probably the biggest singer of our generation. I think that being said, she has slowed down a lot in the last 10 years, releasing projects like once every 3, 4, 5 years. There's still a lot of space for her to continue to dominate and really level up in the arena, the R&B space where she's already in. Why are you coming trying to eat other people's food in another genre?
Because she's bored. She's bored. Man. She wants to try something new.
And she's getting old and she got to reinvent herself. I know. But no, there's just like a lot of, I think country music is having a semi-mainstream moment or is heading in that direction. And when you got the biggest star in the world coming over to that space trying to take some shine, it changes things. So it feels a little disingenuous to me. Disagree.
Of course, no. So I agree with the statement. I think it's awesome. I'm excited. I love Texas Hold'em. Again, similar to what I was roasting you on. I think she's ready for something different. Try something new. I like country pop, I guess, in that sense. So I'm excited. I don't know. It's something new. So
all right.
Agree to disagree, Doug.
I respect it. I just hope the Beehive doesn't come after me. Anyway, all right. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are a real thing.
Taylor, so that's my girl. So a Swiftie here. I'm going to agree with this statement because love is love. And I think, hey, if they're a real thing, why not? I have no reason to not believe it. Love's love. Yeah, agree.
Okay. Again, no disrespect to Swiftie Nation. I think this is staged. I disagree. I don't believe they are a real thing.
The Beehive and the Swifties, Doug. This is what you're taking on in episode 2.
Let me get a bulletproof vest on. But I think that there's just been numerical data that's shown how the constant panning up to the sweet box of Taylor Swift in these games during the Super Bowl is having a business impact on the league. I think that when you're that level of celebrity on both ends, that's got to be a factor, and that takes away from the idea of it being just some authentic romance. So, no, disagree.
Okay, fine. All right, I'll move us away from pop culture. Everyone should work at a startup or try to start their own things once in their life.
As much as I believe this is true, for me at least, I have to disagree with this statement. It is not for everyone. I personally know a bunch of folks who have never taken any risks, have had the most stable, steady careers, and just never had that itch to be an entrepreneur. And I love them for that. I respect them for that. And sometimes I admire them for that because it's stressful taking that kind of risk. So I disagree. It's not for everyone.
Yeah, I'll agree. It's not for everyone. And I also agree with you overall. I disagree with the statement. I do think, though, that there is that different type of hard work piece that goes into working at a startup or starting your own things that I think maybe might not be able to be replicated in other career experiences. But I do think that if you do have it, that's really great. Set you on a great track.
Agree with that for sure. All right. Millennials are the most unlucky generation ever.
Such a bold one. Of course you come with this one. No, I have to disagree because I feel like while I am a millennial, I can't say that we are the most unlucky generation. Yes, we have had challenging and tough times, but I can't say that I think we are the most unlucky ever. So I would disagree.
All right. What are we up against?
Bring it. I know exactly where you're going. Bring it.
What are we up against? All right. We have faced a recession and a half, COVID, the turning of, tech from analog to digital, the advent of the internet. We've had to deal with a lot and have had to learn a lot and adapt to a ton. The world has changed a lot in the last 20 to 30 years. And I think it's arguable that in ways that may never happen again in such a short amount of time. We haven't been to any wars. We haven't been through any civil rights movements. Okay. But no, in my opinion, no, we've had it the hardest. And that's my unbiased opinion. Stacking it up against maybe the Ice Age. It can be in the conversation, enter the chat, but that's about it.
Oh my gosh. Wow, this was a spicy agree to disagree on this one. As always, though, fun like normal. But I think it's time now for our topic, which I know we kind of mentioned already, but remote work, something that I know we are both very excited to chat about and have a lot of opinions on. So I'll just kind of kick us off. Just thinking back, living through a time post-COVID, a lot of companies have really pulled back and changed their views on remote work. So much so that I would say that some companies have even started requiring employees to not only be back in the office a minimum amount of days, but big companies like Meta and Google are tracking employees by badge swipes and then using that data and information as part of your performance reviews.
So dehumanizing, so draconian. But yeah, I've seen that. And it's a very real thing. I've also seen the employee response. And a lot of folks are just not rolling over and just dealing with that. I'm seeing a lot of folks leave for other opportunities, take less pay, and just really hungry and still valuing that option to be hybrid or fully remote. So
yeah, absolutely agree with that. I think we're starting to see it a lot more, and actually, rightfully so. I think it's a great change, to be honest. But obviously, I think that's dependent on a person's personal situations. Weighing that work-life balance and flexibility has increasingly become top of the list when making that decision for some folks, which I think is a great thing. But diving into remote work a little bit more, let's discuss the benefits of remote work. Doug, I know you're an advocate of remote work, so am I. Let's share some of the pros for that remote work.
So many. But first, let me preface this with my strong belief. Your perception will be totally influenced by your personal situation. All right. I think it goes without saying, but to break it down, that single childless young professional living in downtown Manhattan, partying every night, is going to have a totally different outlook than that suburban married mom of three, single mom of three even. So yeah, lifestyle definitely plays in here. But I do want to reference this awesome piece on this topic that I found in The Guardian recently. So there's a lot of people who genuinely thrive in a remote environment.
Yeah, and that's me. That's me.
For sure. Parents with young children who can more easily fit in bedtimes and drop-offs and laundry loads. And then those with punishing commutes, or those that suffer from even social anxiety. These are all winners in the remote conversation.
Yeah.
All right. So here's a quick breakdown of some points from the Guardian article. Employees improve productivity due to comfort and autonomy and being able to control their own environment.
But I also feel like that could be a little bit debatable because you might have a lot going on. Kids, laundry, waiting on deliveries, construction going on outside.
Yeah, no, for sure. That construction, those cars passing by. Yeah, it can be overwhelming.
In New York, right?
Oh, man. Employees can connect with colleagues in different geographies.
Absolutely. 100% here. I agree with this one. I mean, I think about our partnership, right? Proof of that right here, given we were on a global working team together before. You and I right now are on opposite sides of the country.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, guys, this was all made possible by remote work. I would not know this woman if not for remote work. All right. Employers can source talent across different parts of the world and nation.
Yeah. Again, I think this plays into kind of what we just mentioned too, but again, that talent exists everywhere, right? And location should not be a factor. I do feel like though in the future, we should dive into like pay transparency for locations, fair or not fair. It's a great topic.
Man, we've seen some folks dig into that and other platforms dedicated to that. And that is 100% a huge separate can of worms that I don't know if it's appropriate for today.
We don't want to open that one today, but I will open.
Bookmark
Let's chat
that
a little
one.
bit. I will open for us, though. Let's talk a little bit about the negative side of remote work. So some things that come to mind for me: lower organizational visibility. Is it harder to get promoted? Those hallway conversations, water cooler chats, that network to build, right, with colleagues.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, like I'm with no shame, like I am the former water cooler schmoozer in my past lives, like 100%. I've built a lot of strong connections. Those kinds of social elements are definitely important and missed in this remote work scenario, for sure.
And I also think, depending on your living situation, it could have rates of depression and anxiety increase, feelings of that stress and isolation. People feel less connected to colleagues without the gossips, the jokes, the lunches, and the happy hours.
Yeah, that's valid. But there are cases where remote work can actually decrease those things, just due to the power that autonomy can have over folks' moods and just being able to not even step in the party that day if you're not ready for that.
True. Good thing to consider. Good call out for sure. And then I think lastly, just kind of what comes to mind is it's harder to get true separation from work-life balance. Remote workers putting in longer hours but working less.
I don't even want to talk about this. It's something that I struggle with, having my home office be double as my living room. But I think it really does just come down to how good of a boundary setter you are. Are you that type of person?
Doug, you are not.
Oh man, some folks are really slamming that laptop closed at 5:01 every single day. I know people like that. Others, it stays open 24/7. So
I do think in the end, though, like working remotely is a choice that every person has to make if they want to do it, if they don't want to do it. And then the harder part is even finding a company that supports remote work. So if you're interested, I know that there's sites like flexjobs.com dedicated to remote work.
We actually didn't get paid for that plug. Yeah, but shout out FlexJobs, I guess. But if we're shouting out websites, let's also shout out ours. Everyone, I invite you now to head on over to The Job Fair. That's FARE.com. Check us out, learn a bit more about the show. And we invite you also to shoot us a line. Drop us a message. We're constantly looking for new guests, new ideas, feedback, everything in between. We're building out this virtual set, and we need folks to come and sit on that couch. So check us out, thejobfair.com. And yeah, we look forward to hearing from you.
Come join us. But I think that's kind of a wrap. Pause for episode 2, right?
Good.
Can't believe it happened. 2.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Until next time.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.